Hey Gemini, what's going on? I hope you're super well. My name is Madam Butterfly, for those of you that don't know me, and you're so welcome here. You know, whether you're new or whether you are a returning visitor, you're so welcome here, and I appreciate your presence here so much. We're just going to do like a random general reading today. I've got a whole bunch of decks that I never get to play with, so we're going to play with the decks today and see what comes out. Might be kind of a longer reading. I'm just going to basically keep going and see what comes out, but you know, if you have an attention span like mine, Gemini, you can always pause it and come back to it later, right? You don't got to watch it all at once. What else was I going to say? Yeah, you know, if you feel like the reading resonates with you, Gemini, and you feel like liking and subscribing for me, I'd appreciate that so much. And also, if you're watching this on like the Friday that it comes out, remember it's a full moon today. So like if you're feeling super tired and you know, you're not quite up to scratch today, you know, give yourself a break, right? That tends to happen on the full moon. It's a time of rest, right? So what is going on for Gemini? Oh my god, Gemini, what beautiful card to start with. We have the Eagle. Seize opportunities courageously. So is that focused? There we go. This card means that there's new opportunities coming towards you. Now, that could mean different things for different people. It could mean a bunch of different opportunities, but they're saying go for it. Like, don't talk yourself out of it. Don't convince yourself you're not worth what's coming towards you. Maybe broaden your mind, or like broaden your spectrum, like broaden your horizons. Like maybe you're focused on, you know, let's say it's a job, right? Like maybe you're focused on one particular thing, and they're saying like maybe if you open your kind of field, you're gonna see like a lot more opportunities or something, right? And you definitely have opportunities coming towards you. You have the Giraffe. Aspire to higher knowledge and wisdom. So it kind of looks like you're going to be learning something. For many of you, you could be learning something spiritual. Like you might be learning, because it does talk about higher knowledge and wisdom. So you're definitely learning something, but it could be something to do with like spirituality you're going to be learning. Oh, that's just so random the way that turned over. You have the rat. This is actually, I know rats are generally like they get a bad press, but this is such a super cute card. Like the big city rats are gross. Like we used to have ones in Glasgow that were like, oh my god, I found one in the back garden. Oh my god, it was huge. It was like a dog. It was so big. But this one's kind of cute. Be true to yourself and the universe will reward you. So there is some kind of new opportunities coming towards you. It's going to involve learning something new. And the message is to don't try and fit into other people's boxes, Gemini, because that is not what you're here for. Like, you know, Geminis, I'm a Gemini myself, and we are a bit different, right? Some people would call us weirdos. I'm not one of those people. I just think that, you know, we like to express ourselves, right? Like, not everybody does that. I think it's, you know, I think that's what people should do, right? Because that's what makes the world an interesting place, that everybody is different. So you do what matters to you. You find out what you think about, like what matters to you. Like, is money more important, or is being happy within your job, you know? Or like maybe you're being offered 2 different jobs or something, and you know, they're saying like go with the one that fits you, you know? And that's when things are really going to open up for you. Like that's when things are going to start feeling a lot easier. Like you're just going to kind of slip into things, like new opportunities, a lot easier, because it's going to be what's right for you. And also with the rat, there is something, because he's kind of meditating, it kind of putting me in mind of like the 4 of Swords. So it may be necessary for you to kind of slow down a little bit, Gemini, so you can actually hear what Spirit is trying to tell you, because they're trying to push you towards something new, where you're going to be learning something new. It's something where you're going to have higher knowledge and wisdom. Like it might be something where you're kind of delivering wisdom, or like a managerial position, or something where you have higher knowledge. You could also be going back to school to study something. But yeah, I feel like it's quiet contemplation, you know, resting, and I feel like this is when the ideas are going to come to you. But it's when you're being true to yourself and doing things that make you happy and doing things that you think are important is when you're really going to step into your own. That's when you're going to find your purpose. Because also, see how he kind of has, in his little middle section, I don't know what that fluffy green thing is next to his face, but see in the middle, he's got, it almost looks like the labyrinth symbol, right? Which is kind of putting me in mind of like, you may have been feeling kind of lost up until this point in your life, but I feel like there's some things coming towards you now. You're really going to be very content with where you are now. Also, you might be getting a lot of attention. For some of you, like you might be stepping into something where you're getting a lot of attention from, it's like you're finally kind of allowing yourself to be seen for what you know, is what I want to say. Alright, what else for Gemini, please? I'm just going to reshuffle them because I feel like they just fell out. What else for Gemini, please? Okay. Wow, you have Cherry. Oh my god, that's mental. You have 3 red cards. We're taking them. And this is the one that tried to come out earlier, so we're going to take that too. Let me make a little pile here. So you have purple, developmental clarity. So yeah, there's something, I think it's necessary. You don't actually have to meditate, because I know not everybody's good at meditating. I mean, if you can meditate, it's really, really good for you. It'll help you sleep better, it'll help you think better, it'll help with your anxiety, and I speak from experience here. And there's lots of different ways to meditate. Like you go for a walk, you know, you can do some cleaning, you can do some exercise, you can do some adult colouring in books. Or even if you can just sit for 5 minutes. But I feel like there's going to be, the clarity comes to you when your mind is quiet. I think it's really important for you to be able to quiet your mind so these new ideas can come through to you. Because there's maybe something that's been kind of nagging you. There's been something that's been at the back of your brain for a while about something you should be doing, but because your brain is always so busy, you don't quite, it doesn't ever quite come to the surface and develop. Do you know what I mean? It's like a thought that never actually becomes clear. But I think when you start to meditate, it will. Yeah, so you have 3 red cards here. So I want to say ground your energy, because that is the root chakra color. Or maybe you're about to become more grounded. So you have Cherry, excuse me, live an extraordinary life. Okay, this has come out under the eagle, seize opportunities courageously. So also with the eagle, it can often talk about psychic awareness, I believe. But there's something, especially because the eagle, like it's so high, you know, it soars very, very high. So these things, whatever this opportunity is, it might be very, very different than what everyone else does. It might be like a really ambitious thing, right? But Gemini, that's what Geminis are for, right? We're good manifestors, and we're very determined, right? So when we have an idea, we tend to just go for it. So just go for it. If this is something, if it's an extraordinary idea, like if it's something, the way I'm seeing it is like you're sitting you have this really great idea that would probably help a lot of people, and it's something to do with like this higher knowledge and wisdom that you have, or that you're about to have. But it's almost like you're convincing yourself it's not possible, right? Because you're like, oh, that's such a weird thing to do, like nobody else does that, like how would I even make that work? They're saying you're gonna do it. Okay, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do it. Live the extraordinary life. Be different. Soar higher than other people, because you can do it. So if there's like a weird job opportunity, like, I don't know, if somebody offers you a weird job, or like if you're on cruising on like Indeed or something, and you see like a weird job and you're like, I would really like to do that. Like one time I applied for a job as a private detective. Like I didn't get it, but I was like, oh, never even thought of doing that. So like, and it doesn't have to be about your job as well. Like, you know, it can apply to anything. This is just a general reading, but I mean, it could even be in terms of like love. Maybe there's someone that you have your eye on that's like, you think, oh, like I could never have that person, like they're too normal, or like they're too good looking, or they're too, I don't know, they're too different for me. Like you can have it. They're saying you can have whatever you want. You just have to go for it. You have red, free yourself from pain. And you have the watermelon, have fun with your inner child. So this one I want to put underneath the rat, because I feel like this is, you know, the rat is like, be true to yourself and the universe will reward you. So I feel like this is a message to like let your inner child out, because I feel like you have repressed your inner child, right? Because when you were little, you know, maybe you were a bit of a weirdo, maybe the other kids made fun of you, like even your mom and dad maybe were like, you're a weirdo, or your brothers and sisters, right? Or your friends. So eventually you just kind of learn to stop being such a weirdo. But Spirit is saying, let your weirdness out. That's you. Let it out. That's what people are going to love about you. You know, the silliness and like the, because this is the thing, when you think about inner child, you know, you do think about kind of being silly and having fun, but also children are like really, you know, like they have, you know, they're really apt a lot of the time. Like they, you know, when they're trying to, they want to know everything. They're very curious and they ask questions that adults just don't ask, because when you get to be like an old dead inside adult, you know, you just kind of given up and you're like, that's just the way the world works. We just do stupid things all the time and that's just how it works. But kids question everything, you know, like Dylan Moran's got a good sketch where he talks about his kid and he's like, his kid asking him questions and he's like, what are the spaces in between the bits on this that stick out on the comb called? And he's like, I don't know, bedtime. So maybe that's what you have to do, you know, ask questions, like think outside the box. There's also something here, I don't know if like having all this knowledge is kind of, it's either like you have a lot of knowledge and you don't share it with people, and it's almost like you should be sharing it with people, because it's almost like eating you up inside that you have all this information that you don't share. Or it's like you're gonna learn something that's gonna really help you free yourself from past pain. But you're also gonna be, whatever you're about to learn, I think you're gonna be very grounded. And I do think, because that is a third eye color, that purple one, so I feel like it's something to do with like a vision, like developing mental clarity, like having a vision about the world, having a vision about the way that things should be, or like your third eye just opening up and you seeing things a lot more clearly. What else for Gemini, please? Oh, give that to me again, Spirit. I don't know which one it was. What else for Gemini, please? Thank you. You have the Wheel of Fortune here. Flow. So I want to say let go and go with the flow. That's when, because you may not be exactly able to see the way forward yet with whatever these new opportunities are coming in, and it's okay, you're not supposed to. Like, it's actually, you know, I think this is part of your lesson here, like learning that it's okay not to always be in control, like exactly control of what's happening, and can have some faith. I know it's hard, right? Especially when, you know, the economic climate and stuff, and you know, blah blah blah, everything that's been going on, you're like, I need answers, I need to know, I need to know exactly what's going to happen. But actually when you do that, it kind of, you know, when you're trying to control it, because what you're like, I worked this out recently, like when you're sitting going, you know, when you pull a card that's going you're going to have some new opportunity come towards you, and you're sitting there trying to work out exactly what it is. It almost limits the opportunity coming in. Do you know what I mean? Because honestly, a lot of the times the opportunities that spirit brings to you, you would never have thought of by yourself, really. Like, you know, if someone had been sitting around like 10 years ago and said this random thing to you, you'd be like, what are you talking about? I'll never do that. That's mental. But then they just put it in your head one night when you're kind of relaxing, and you're like, oh, maybe that would be a good idea. Like, interesting. I also think it might happen very quickly. I feel like you're going to develop a lot of mental clarity very quickly. You have manifest. Aries had that card. So this is a magician. So you are literally a fucking magician, Gemini. Look at that. Look at this dude. You're like able, you know, this is someone who's like basically able to control the elements. Like, you know, Geminis are master manifestors, and one of the reasons is that we're very stubborn. You know, I mean, we are very flexible and adaptable. Once we set our mind on something that we really, really want to do, that's pretty much it. Like, it's pretty much going to get done until we get bored of it, right? But you have everything that you need now. Because up until this point in your life, I want to say you've been learning, all right? And now you have all this knowledge, and I want to say it is time to share it. It's time to share your knowledge. See, it looks like that's what he's doing, right? It's like he has a chest of knowledge and he's sharing it with the world, right? Interesting reading, Gemini. Right, let's see what else we've got. So it's like a combination here of like, be relaxed, go with the flow, don't try and control things, but at the same time, don't sit on your arse and do nothing, right? Nothing's gonna happen if you sit on your ass and do nothing. But like, make sure, like, it's this mental clarity, like make sure you're resting, make sure you're meditating or doing meditative things as much as you can, right? Like coloring in, or like reading a book instead of putting the TV on, right? Because that's when this idea is going to come to you. But it's like, be relaxed and like, don't try and control things, but also take action. You know, when the ideas come to you, take action, right? There's something that you will be very, I see you being very focused and very determined. Because I feel like a learning cycle has ended. I feel like it's, I mean, obviously learning never ends, but I feel like a learning cycle has ended here. Yep. That's so weird that they came out together. So you have temperance, balance, you have life experience, the tower. I like that she's called that, or he, sorry, he's called it life experience for the tower. I think that's a cool name. And you have the star. So it's interesting they're all so close together, because there's been something about perfect timing here, and the temperance card is all about balancing toxic energy. See, I feel like you've had a lot of toxic energy in your past, Gemini, like, but it's all been to do with you learning. Like, for whatever reason, it was necessary for you to learn these harsher lessons so that you can live an extraordinary life. Because you've been learning to balance things. Like, you've been learning to balance toxic and positive energies. You have the tower here. And you have the star. Things are going to change. But in a good way. But it just wasn't the right time. I feel like you've been very patient, you know, waiting for the right time. And it's because you've been being prepared. And now is the right time. Things are going to change very quickly. But they're saying, don't be scared. Go for it, okay? Because these changes are going to lead to... I mean, the star is a beautiful card to get for your future. You could not ask for a happier card. Like, the star is beautiful. The star is like peace and like renewed hope in life and prosperity and happiness and abundance and healing. Feeling very peaceful, feeling very healed. Yeah, happy times, making positive, optimistic, long-term plans, on the right path. And again, she's got those two, look at that. So in the Temperance, she has the two jars, right? And in the Star, she has the two jars, right? So I feel like in the past, you were kind of given these toxic and positive energies in the past, and you had to learn how to balance them, right? How to control them without it, you know, fucking up your life, basically. And I feel like you've done that. And now I feel like you're going to teach others how to do it. Because see how she's pouring out the water? It's like she's pouring out knowledge. I feel like that's what it is. You're pouring out some kind of knowledge about how to like deal with negative energy, because you have so much life experience as well. And now I actually wonder if you're going to be doing something like healing with the Star. Like for some of you anyway, I feel like maybe you're going to be going into some kind of healing, like healing other people, like counseling, or like life coaching, or healing, like actually like a doctor or a nurse, or like spiritual healing or something like that. Excuse me, Gemini. But yeah, there's something with that Tower, like things are going to start changing fast for you. Give me that again, Spirit. I don't know what it was. What else for Gemini, please? What else would you like Gemini to know? What are you doing? Okay, what is that? There's the Star again. There's something about like all this knowledge that you've acquired, you're going to give it to people. So, and there's knowledge again, the High Priestess. So you have the High Priestess, you have the Two of Pentacles, and you have the Star again. So it's definitely something like you're pouring out knowledge here. So maybe you're going to start a YouTube channel, maybe you're going to start a blog, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're going to be a manager or a teacher. Some of you might have Aries in your chart as well. The High Priestess here, powerful psychic insights, reflection and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. There's some kind of opportunity, right? You're destined to be extraordinary, okay? You're destined to do something. I feel like for a lot of you this is to do with your job. Might also be to do with a person, like a lover coming in, but I feel like this is deeper than that, because you do have such knowledge, Gemini, and a lot of it comes from the higher realms. A lot of it is because you've had your nose stuck in a book, or you've spent your life watching documentaries and seeking out information, because that's our thing, right, Gemini? That's what we like. That's our chocolate, right? Give us information. So you have a lot of information, but it's almost like you have access to the higher realms, and you do have very powerful like psychic insights. You're going to be providing valuable information to people for a living in some way. And a lot of the way that you do it, obviously some of it will come from books and knowledge, right? But a lot of it is just wisdom that you have brought in with you from the, you know, from previous lifetimes, or like you're accessing, you know, like Edgar Case, like you're accessing it from the Akashic records, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You also have, the High Priestess can talk about secrets. It's almost like you might be revealing secrets to people, like telling people things they don't know is what I keep coming back to. And you have this Two of Pentacles here. It's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. So I see for a lot of you, you might actually have multiple jobs going on here. Like you might have your fingers in a lot of different pies, you know. But again, there's this like, because this is like the Greek gods, right, who are supposed to, you know, they're supposed to live in Olympus, right, and like look down over the world, right? So I feel like again there's this kind of you being like, you have access to like this higher knowledge. But the Two of Pentacles is about grounding it for people. I feel like you bring knowledge down for people and like ground it, you know what I mean? You make it normal, you make it accessible. But I feel like there's like multiple jobs here or multiple projects. Like you might start doing like a new hobby, like maybe you're going to get into gardening or cooking, or I don't know, making clothes or something. I feel like you're going to have a lot of stuff going on, but also I feel like you're going to have multiple sources of income. I feel like you have realized that it's actually okay for you to not be stuck in one thing. You know, maybe your whole life you're like, oh, I have to be normal, like I have to do one job and I have to stay there forever. But that's not what Geminis do. Like, you know, it's okay, like you're born under the sign of Gemini because you chose to be for different reasons, right? Like if you were wanting to be like a more stable sign, you would have chosen to be born under like Virgo, right? Or Capricorn. But you're a Gemini, you're supposed to experience lots of different things. It doesn't make you a fuck up. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And I feel like you're finally embracing that, and that's when like this peace and happiness is going to come in. And you also have the Star again, so this is all about healing and again pouring out knowledge that you've acquired over the years for other people, being yourself. Because she's very mischievous looking, this woman, I think. So it's like you're being a grown-up, but you're kind of still letting that mischievous side out of you. Do you know what I mean? It's like keeping you alive, keeping that spark alive. And that's the spark people are going to be drawn to. Also it says a dream come true, believe in yourself. So yeah, let your weirdness shine out, Gemini. Don't be afraid to be a weirdo, because that's something, that quirkiness that all Geminis have. Like Russell Brand is a Gemini, right? And that's kind of what makes him so, I love Russell Brand. I know he's not for everyone, but I really like him. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't leave anything negative about him in the comments just because I've said I like him. I would appreciate that. But you know, he is kind of, you know, he's eccentric, right? But that's kind of what makes him charming, I think, right? Okay, what have we got here? That's so weird. Aries had that. I'm sure it was Aries. A lot of you might have Aries in your chart. You have the blue avians, philosophy, releasing karma, mysticism. So you may have a connection, like a starseed connection to the blue avians, but let's just quickly check the book. I'm not going to read it all out because that would be boring, but inner work, philosophy, yeah, esoteric knowledge, releasing karma, mysticism, ascension, divine masculine. So those masculines watching this reading, you might be stepping into your divine masculine. Self-discovery, scholar, intellect, study, education, diplomatic, science. So some of you might be kind of diversifying into science, but I really think you're learning something. For one thing, you're kind of learning to go with the flow a little bit more, and this is what's going to open up opportunities to you. But yeah, you definitely have knowledge, like esoteric knowledge. And also I think you are kind of releasing some karma. I think not as much as Aries was. I think Aries had quite a lot to kind of let go of, but because that was quite prevalent in their reading. I feel like it's not so much of a focus for you, Gemini, but you might be kind of releasing the need to always be in control, and that might come from like previous experiences in your past. You know, it might come from past life. Oh, look at that. You have the shadow self, denial, projecting, shame. So yeah, Your shadow self is that it's like you've always had all this knowledge, and for some reason it's almost like you've been ashamed that you've had it or something, or it's like you've kind of denied your power, is what I want to say. It's almost like you want it to be normal, so you kind of stomped down on like your inner child, or you stomped out, you like pretend. I feel like you're for some reason you're like scared to show people how much you know. That could come from a past life, you know, or maybe you were chased out of town with pitchforks or something, like from, you know, knowing too much in a past life. But you have some kind of shame here, some kind of denial about like your true like magical powers, basically. Because I feel like maybe for some of you anyway, in a past life, you had all this knowledge and maybe you shared it in the past and someone didn't like it. So like maybe some of you guys got burned as witches or like something like that in a past life. And it would be for nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because that's why it happened, like literally for nothing. You know, like wise women and like herbalists getting burned and stuff. But I feel like there may have been something like that in a past life that you're bringing forward. But now you've dealt with that. You know, you've dealt with like that shadow aspect of yourself that like wanted to hide or wanted to dim your shine to fit in. Because people get annoyed by Geminis, right? It's like the same with Leo. I said this in the Leo reading the other day, because Leo and Gemini are actually very similar. Because Leo and Gemini have both kind of, Leo more so than Gemini, I would say, have come here to shine. Like Leo, that's literally their job. You know, it's also Gemini's job, and like, you know, it can be like in your family, maybe you have brothers and sisters that didn't like you getting attention, because it's not like Gemini tries to shine, it's just what we do. It's the same with Leo. Like Leo doesn't really try to shine, they just do. And because of that they tend to get a lot of hate, right? Like Leos are such attention seekers, blah blah blah, but they're not. You know, it's just that they've been designed in such a way that they attract more attention, and you're the same, Gemini. And there's something also with the knowledge. Like you feel like when you start talking about what you know, people almost like get afraid, or they stop talking to you because they get intimidated or something. But it's time for you to share it, you know. It's time for you to start sharing it and not be ashamed about it. Like it's time to show the world who you really are. Okay, what else for Gemini, please? Let them go. Okay, I am going to get the book for this one. That's so interesting. Look at that. It's a tree on fire. So I wonder if, like, for some of you, like I was talking about the past life connection, I wonder if some of you were actually burned, or like, not, you don't necessarily have to have been burned at the stake, but maybe you were kind of ostracized or something like that for knowing too much in a past life or something like that, and it's time to release it, because that's done. That's not this life. You know, you're not going to be persecuted in this life. That's not where we are now, right? I mean, you might be called a weirdo, but who gives a shit, right? Like, actually, who cares? So, you often take on the pain of others. You used to think it was because you're an empath, but these days you're not so sure. Sometimes it feels like other people are emptying their emotions into you and giving nothing in return. Sometimes we even feel we've inherited pain from those who come before us in our family tree. This is your permission to let go. Your life is ultimately about you, not what other people expect you to carry for them. So, yeah, they're saying like your life it's about you. Like you don't have to fit in. Like you're not supposed to fit in to what other people expect of you. You're supposed to live your life the way that you want to. So you can let go of like, you know, what other people have been trying to box you into, or like making you feel ashamed for who you are. Also, like, you may, for some of you, like, you may have always been the peacekeeper in your family or something like that. Like, you always had to be, I don't know, maybe you came from like a kind of an unhappy family, or you were like the youngest child or something, and you always had to be like the happy child. You know, you always had to like have a smile on your face because you were always the one that cheered other people up. But they're saying you can let that go now. Like, you don't always have to, like, you don't have to pretend to be happy all the time, Gemini. And also, it's interesting it's come out underneath the Temperance card here, because that's all about transmuting toxic energy. So I wonder if for some of you, like, you've carried a lot of pain from your family, like, or just doesn't have to be your family. Like, you find like you're one of those people that ends up being a counselor, do you know what I mean? Like you always try and make other people happy, and you're kind of carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders a little bit, you know? They're saying like you can release that now, okay? But that which you've experienced in the past, it is something to do with this future. Like, it was some kind of, like, you were learning, it was part of your learning, but you don't need it anymore. I actually just want to get one more card from that deck. What else for Gemini, please? No, we're gonna go into another deck. Okay. What else for Gemini, please? Yeah, you've been learning a lot of lessons, but your lesson time is now over. It's like now, yeah, oh my god. Let go of the past, embrace the light and joy of the new day. Because it's like everything that was happening in your past was so that you could step into this role of teacher, basically, is what I'm getting here. But you don't need to carry that around anymore, because it was literally your lessons to get you to where you needed to be. Now it's done, so let it go. You know, open yourself up. Strong message here, you're not going to be persecuted anymore, okay? You're in touch with your truth. Trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. See, again, there's this access to like esoteric knowledge, higher knowledge, wisdom. And you've always felt like a weirdo. You've never told people that you have this access. And I feel like it's starting to come out more and more, and you've started to realize like, oh, people are actually interested in what I have to say. Like, maybe you didn't even realize before that other people didn't have this knowledge, but you have some kind of knowledge. And it's to do with like the truth of the universe and the truth of the self. And it's now time to like open yourself up and like let people see you. Like, it's time to be seen. Time to let people see the real you, Gemini. Okay. Time to share your knowledge. Jeez. You have a soulmate coming in. I'm going to read the book for this one as well, because it also has a different meaning, but you do have a soulmate coming in here. So whoever this is, feels like a newer energy. You have a lot of knowledge. Look at that crown chakra and his third eye. Like, you have you get a lot of information from the like Akashic records, you know, whatever you want to call it, like the ether around you. Your third eye is very, very open. But also there's so much red here. It's knowledge that you've always had, but it's like you didn't realize you had it. It's like you didn't even, it's weird to describe. It's like you knew you had it, but you've never actually stopped to take the time to be like, oh, that's probably quite important that I have that. I should share it with people. So it's like this knowledge that you have is being grounded, so it can be something useful, you know. I'm trying not to get my face on camera because like no makeup, honestly nobody wants any of that. And I don't want that recorded for posterity. So you have Soulmate, Rose Without Thorns. This card indicates changing old communication patterns and being open to a new way of interacting. You may no longer be able to have conversations that don't sustain your authenticity. Oh my god, freedom lies ahead better than you can imagine. See, you've always, because Geminis are good like that, right? We can talk to anyone about any old bullshit, but you've ascended, Gemini, so it's come to a point now where you're going to find yourself less and less able to hide your knowledge, right? So the people that you're talking to, they're probably going to change, right? So if you're talking to people that can only talk about like, I don't know, basic stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, that's just where they are in their consciousness, there's nothing wrong with it at all, but it's not where you are. So you need to seek out people who can engage with you, and I feel like there's a soulmate coming in, a lover, friend, who is going to be able to do that with you, okay? Like this person coming in, you're actually going to be able to have really like esoteric, like mind-blowing conversations about the universe and like what's going on Earth and like, you know, biology, whatever you want to talk about, this person is going to be able to talk about it with you. And again, like old communication changing old communication patterns, being open to a new way of interacting, showing people the real you, not being scared to say this knowledge, to share what you know. Because this is an important time, Gemini. We're moving into the 4th dimension. You can see everything that's going on Earth. It's really important to get as many people ascended as possible so we can, you know, fix the fucking planet, basically, right? So you're really moving into a period where you're going to be very authentic. Yeah, this card indicates no longer living a lie. Oh my god. Speaking your truth. Freedom through transformation, new truths, authenticity. So this is all about speaking about this knowledge that you have, Gemini. No longer living a lie, like not hiding your true self. And this new soulmate that's coming in is going to help you do that. It doesn't have to be romance, but I feel like for a lot of you it is. You have prayer. So this is also the solar plexus chakra, which is about I can, having confidence to, you know, being motivated to do the things that you want to do because you know, because it's like you're moving into your true self. So you're going to be much more aware of like opportunities that are for you, things that are really meant for you. Do you know what I mean? Rather than things that you're doing because you feel like you should be doing them. And part of that is like this solar plexus confidence of I can do that. Like it might be a little weird, it might be ambitious, nobody else is doing it, who gives a shit? I can do it, right? Cool lemonade. Inquiry and original thoughts are inspired by the angels in lemon yellow. Cut through and face the truth and surrender to a higher calling. There is collaboration here and a willingness to change one's mind. Try letting go of control. Everything that I was saying, right? Surrender to this higher calling. Original thoughts. So it's some kind of new idea. Like a lot of people are not going to have done whatever this is you're going to be doing, Gemini. My prayers are answered. Cool lemonade is a reminder that there is always a plan. If you were sidetracked from your path, then you will be guided back to your true calling. So I feel like for a lot of you watching this, like when you were little, you were very, very much yourself. Even maybe up until the age of about 20, you were very much yourself. Maybe it died out a little the older you got, but I feel like when you got into your 20s and your 30s, people just put you down and called you a weirdo, and you just stopped trying to express yourself and you stopped sharing your knowledge with people. Maybe you never did. But I feel like you're getting back on your path now. But it's okay that you went off your path, because that's where you got the knowledge, right? All prayers are answered, following where life leads, being of service, fulfillment, clarity, destiny, authenticity again. So definitely moving back into your authentic self, living an authentic life, doing things that make you happy, being of service. I feel like whatever this is you are, it's like the knowledge that you have is going to be very much of service to other people. I feel like that is your job here. You spent the first half of your life getting information, and now you're going to share it. I mean, you're going to keep learning, you know, but... Alright, what else for Gemini, please? Surprise! Alright. Get ready, because something, especially with that tower there, there's like opportunities, or an opportunity coming in out of the blue that's going to surprise you. You have fulfillment. Whatever it is going to be really fulfilling for you. It's going to make you so happy. You're going to be like, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I feel like you have a romantic partner or a friend who's coming on the journey with you. So you're just going to be fulfilled in all aspects. Like literally, if you have the bravery to step into this future, you can have everything that you want. Passion, yeah, it's something that you're going to be very, very passionate about. Maybe also you're like rediscovering your passion for something, right? I feel like it's this one. You have insight here. So I feel, yeah, again, you have this higher knowledge and wisdom, and I feel like sharing it with people releases you from your pain. Because I feel like, I want to say this again, I feel like you've always thought you were a weirdo because you had all this knowledge and you knew things, and like when you're trying to have like these, you know, normal conversations with people, you're thinking to yourself like, oh, if I actually said what I was thinking, you would walk away from me and never talk to me again and tell all your friends I was crazy. But I feel like you just don't care now, because you're realizing, you're like, but there's nothing wrong with me having knowledge. Like, I'm not ashamed of knowing things. Yeah, you have love coming towards you here. But also I want to say, this new opportunity that's coming towards you, and I feel like for a lot of you, that there is a soulmate, okay, but I feel like that's not what this is about. I feel like it's something to do with your career or something that you're going to learn. And it's something to do with all this extra esoteric knowledge that you have, like this kind of higher access here. And I feel like the reason you decide to share it with people is out of love. I feel like it's unconditional love for your brothers and sisters on earth that makes you decide to share it. And I feel like it's also, you're going to be loved for sharing it. So, you know, maybe you're a teacher and your students are going to love you. Like maybe you're teaching a Reiki course. I don't know. Maybe you're like a manager or something, but you're going to be loved and you're going to love what you're doing. And you're going to spread love. I think it's something to do with speaking, because I'm losing my voice. I think it's going to be something to do with like speaking and sharing knowledge in that way. But you're going to be spreading a lot of love in the world when you do this. I actually want to say that whatever it is you're doing, you're actually going to help ascend the planet to like unconditional love levels. Like that's why you're doing this. And make no mistake, there are many ways of doing that. Like teaching children is a good way of doing that. You know, children have such beautiful clean energy, especially like, you know, up to like the age of 6 or something, because they haven't forgotten, like that veil is not there yet, so they're very And you have beauty. The outer world is a reflection of your inner, so focus on the beauty within yourself, your good qualities, your kindnesses, your gifts and talents. Remember that whatever you give your attention to increases and grows. Everyone has some beauty in their soul, so seek it in others, remind them of their qualities and you will illuminate them. Surround yourself with things and people with a beautiful vibration, for we are all influenced by that which is around us. As you tune more and more into the incredible wonder of yourself, others and the planet, your resonance becomes that of beauty. Others will perceive the radiance of your soul and be touched by it. Affirmation: I recognize my beauty in that of others. So there's something here about like you're going to be seeing people for the way that they really are. Maybe you had problems with that before, like maybe because you felt like you couldn't be yourself, you were always with the wrong people. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you felt like a weirdo for not being able to sit and talk about Netflix or, you know, shoes. I don't know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you have all this knowledge. And I feel like you've been kind of frustrated that you couldn't share it with someone, but you have someone that's going to really help you, that's coming in. But also I just feel like you're about to open up. And it's going to give you, like, stepping into your true self and letting your true self come out is going to enable you to love everyone a lot more, because you're not, I feel like that resentment of having to hide is not going to be there anymore, you know, and you're just going to say stuff, and if people don't like it, you're going to be like, well, fuck off then. I mean, I love you. Fuck off with love, you know, fuck off with love and light, but I'm not changing myself to be around you. And then you'll attract the right people. And also, you know, I think you're really focusing on like your gifts and your talents here, instead of like convincing yourself that you're a weirdo, you know, or there's something wrong with you. You're going to be embracing it. And you're going to be finding your soul tribe here, is what I want to say. So I'm going to leave it there, Gemini, because it's a super long reading. But like I said, you know, you don't have to watch it all at once, right? You can pause it and come back to it. That's what I do, because I have zero attention span. It takes me like a week sometimes to watch a reading. But I hope it was a useful reading. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe for me if you feel like doing that. Excuse me, Gemini, I'd appreciate that a lot. Excuse me. And yeah, remember, if you're watching this on Friday, you know, it is a full moon today, so be nice to yourself. And many, many blessings, Gemini. Love and light.